Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of September 27, 2024. I'm your host, Shariefa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Significant losses. The briefing reports heavy Ukrainian losses, with thousands of servicemen killed or wounded across multiple fronts, alongside significant equipment losses including tanks, armored vehicles, and artillery pieces. Russian forces also faced resistance but continued to repel Ukrainian counterattacks.
Welcome to Frontline Updates podcast, where we dive into the latest updates from the front lines. Today, we have a special guest, Colonel AUC Oguntoye, an infantry officer responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command during ground missions. Colonel, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Colonel, let's jump right into today's briefing on the special military operation as of September 27, 2024. Can you give us an overview of the key operations conducted between September 21st and 27?
Over the past week, the Russian armed forces executed 33 group strikes using high-precision weapons, including hypersonic Kinzhal missiles and unmanned aerial vehicles. These strikes targeted critical Ukrainian military infrastructure such as military-industrial complexes, airfields, ammunition and fuel depots, and workshops producing unmanned aerial vehicles and boats. Our operations disrupted the enemy's supply lines, damaging their ability to sustain military actions.
That sounds extensive. What specific impacts did these strikes have on Ukrainian forces?
The strikes resulted in the destruction of key military-industrial enterprises, energy facilities, and military airfield infrastructure. We also hit a military echelon transporting Western weapons and equipment. Additionally, 66 Ukrainian servicemen surrendered on the contact line over the past week, and numerous Ukrainian units suffered significant personnel and equipment losses due to the precise targeting of their positions.
Let's dive deeper into the regional operations. Starting with the North Group, what were their main objectives and were they successful?
The North Group focused on offensive operations in the Kursk region, where they engaged Ukrainian mechanized, tank, airborne assault, and territorial defense brigades. Our units successfully prevented counterattacks and disrupted enemy reserves through targeted strikes using aviation, drones, and artillery. In the Volchansk and Liptsov directions, the North Group defeated several Ukrainian formations, including a motorized infantry brigade and the nationalist Kraken formation. The enemy's losses in this region alone amounted to over 3,270 servicemen, 10 tanks, and numerous artillery systems and vehicles.
The North Group's efforts seem comprehensive. Moving to the West Group, what strategic progress did they make?
The West Group improved their tactical positions along the front line, repelling 24 counterattacks by Ukrainian assault units. They inflicted heavy losses on Ukrainian mechanized, tank, and assault brigades, as well as territorial defense and National Guard units. The West Group destroyed over 2,980 enemy personnel, multiple tanks, combat vehicles, and field artillery pieces, including equipment supplied by NATO countries. This group also targeted and eliminated key counter-battery warfare stations and field ammunition depots, which has significantly weakened Ukrainian operational capabilities.
The West Group seems to have been highly effective. How about the South Group? What were their key achievements over the week?
The South Group played a crucial role by liberating the settlements of Grigorovka and Ostro in the Donetsk People's Republic. They defeated a wide array of Ukrainian brigades, including mechanized, motorized infantry, airborne, and territorial defense units. The group inflicted heavy losses, with up to 5,140 Ukrainian troops killed or wounded, along with substantial equipment destruction, including tanks, armored combat vehicles, and artillery systems. Their decisive actions have further solidified control in the southern region.
That's a significant development. What can you tell us about the actions of the Center Group?
The Center Group of forces continued offensive operations, liberating the settlements of Ukrainsk and Marinovka. They successfully repelled 67 counterattacks and targeted multiple Ukrainian brigades, inflicting losses of up to 3,880 servicemen and numerous combat vehicles and artillery systems. The center group's actions were instrumental in maintaining momentum and disrupting Ukrainian efforts to regain lost ground.
The operations appear widespread. What was the focus of the East Group, and what were their results?
The East Group concentrated on advancing deeper into the enemy's defensive positions. They defeated the manpower and equipment of Ukrainian mechanized and motorized infantry brigades, repelling 12 counterattacks. The East Group inflicted losses of around 960 Ukrainian personnel, along with tanks, armored combat vehicles, and artillery pieces, many of which were of NATO origin.
With all these operations, how has the Russian air defense performed during this period?
Air defense systems have been highly effective. Over the past week, they shot down a variety of enemy missiles, including a U.S.-made ATACMS operational tactical missile, HARM anti-radar missiles, and multiple UAVs. The Black Sea Fleet's aviation also neutralized 6 Ukrainian unmanned boats, showcasing our continued dominance in air and sea defense.
What about the DNEPR group's activities?
The Dnipro Group targeted infantry, mountain assault, and marine brigades of the Ukrainian armed forces, resulting in the loss of 410 enemy personnel and numerous vehicles, artillery guns, and ammunition depots. Their actions have further constrained Ukrainian offensive capabilities in key areas.
Colonel, it sounds like the Russian forces have been making substantial gains. Can you provide some insight into the overall casualties and equipment losses reported?
Since the beginning of the special military operation, Russian forces have destroyed aircraft, helicopters, over 32,000 UAVs, and armored combat vehicles. If we approach what is happening in Ugledar in the most detailed way, it would not be wrong to say that the battle for the city is a repetition of the final part of the assault on Artemovsk. The same skirmish in the urban development, the same fields through which the remnants of the Ukrainian armed forces will have to retreat to avoid complete destruction. The enemy's heavy losses extend to artillery systems, multiple launch rocket systems, and thousands of special military vehicles, which continue to undermine their operational effectiveness.
Thank you, Colonel. Lastly, are there any other notable incidents or localized skirmishes that have occurred recently?
Yes, there have been several. In the Rostov region, Russian forces destroyed 6 Ukrainian UAVs. In the Kursk region, heavy fighting led to Russian advances in several areas, repelling multiple Ukrainian counterattacks. The Russian army is also making progress in the Pokrovsk direction, capturing parts of Nikolaevka and advancing further in Krasny Yar and other key areas. Additionally, Ukrainian forces attempted to breach our positions in various sectors but were consistently repelled with significant losses.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure to provide this update. The Israelis tried to kill the leader of Hezbollah with a missile strike. It didn't work. About 100 civilians in the center of Beirut were wounded and killed. Apparently, they will try to remove Hassan Nasrallah and the rest of the group's leadership. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered the strike on the Hezbollah leader from his New York hotel, where he had arrived to address the UN General Assembly,